Good afternoon, students. Now we are going to discuss the case study. The title is recruitment and selection. The students will come one by one. They will discuss the issues and provide the solutions for the case study.
So very good morning. So today's topic is recruitment and selection. As we all know, when it comes to business, you all are supposed to hire people for work or get some people who are professional in something which you need. Say for example, accounts. You have to get a person who is well in accounting. So all these types of people when you start a business. So when it comes to recruitment and selection, your recruitment is a positive process where you are just calling people for them to apply in your company or an organization. So you might advertise through TV, that's television, pamphlets or online promotions these days. So all this you can do to attract people to apply for job in your company or organization. It's a positive process. And in selection, what do? Selection is you pick few people who are well versed and eligible for working in your company or organization. So it is called the negative process. You are eliminating some people. So many might apply. Say for example, 1,000 members are applying. You may only pick 500 in selection process. According to the qualities that you need, few may have, few may not have. So you might reject some people and pick only the few which you want. So it is a negative process. And in selection, after recruitment is the first process, selection is the second process. So in selection, after selecting people, what do? What is a company do usually? So they go for several tests. It may be group discussion or the random test which each every company will conduct, and it is mandatory for everyone to know how the people exhibit their talent or showcase what they can do, which one are they well versed in. Say for example, when you talk good, when your communication is good, maybe you may place in the call centers where you can communicate to people very clearly and tell what are the services that your company or organization is providing. So all these processes come under the selection process. Here, but the main process when you see it's the recruitment. How many people are willing to work in your company? How many people are willing to give an application of theirs, give their resume, and then get into the company? So that's the first one. According to that count only, you will know what type of status or reputation or fame what you have in the society. So that's the first thing. And selection is you select people whomever you want. So now we have our friends telling in detail about what a company should have, what is the process after selection, and what does it do. Thank you.
As Sarati has previously told us about what is recruitment and what is selection, and as on a briefer note, let's first understand who is the HR and what is the role that he or she is playing in an organization. So an HR or a human resource manager is just like a soul or just like a blood of a human body. So once it starts or stops functioning, what would be happening to our entire body? So the same, just like the same example goes with an HR in a particular enterprise or an organization. So sometimes when we talk about HR, we only limit our thinking only to a specific role. That is, he or she only hires or recruits employees for certain roles. But apart from that, we also have several other departments under HR, like some for the hiring process, some for recruitment process, some for functioning process, and several other operational and day-to-day functioning of the organization. So let's first talk about first is monitoring. So first, on a briefer note, the HR gives a clear understanding and clear-cut view on what the organization is about and how we have to recruit and select processes or employees. So that during the time of recruitment or selection, one of the most important points what an HR has to think and showcase forward is like not being very partial and adamant. So it's like when you are open and opening up and encouraging people on a briefer note for any such kind of job role, he or she has to be very clear about what the role is about, how many vacancies are there, and who are the people who can apply for, what are the qualifications. So in order for this, in order to inform employees and the candidates who are applying for the job, it is very much mandatory for every HR to have a brief understanding about where the organization is, what type or what structure the organization is currently holding on. So an HR on a briefer note focuses on all the sides and nook and corners of an organization, starting from staff, finance to the entire thing. So though they may not have the major in finance, but at times they also focus in such a long way. So when an HR has a clear understanding about what an organization is, what it's dealing with, what it has to forecast in the future, it ensures that the organization will go on a flow and a smooth process. At any point of time, it is not required for the HR or the organization and the candidates or the employees who are working and who have applied to is deficit or surplus at any point of time. So furtherly, I have my friends to discuss more on this topic.
So now I am going to tell about requirement and selection is different. So requirement is a positive process where it searching for candidates and giving them job vacancies, and selection is a negative process where it eliminates many candidates like test on all. So that's it.
So let us see what are the types of tests are conducted in selection process. At the entry level phase, we have aptitude test in which the employees, the selected persons will check their ability or their intelligence level, whether he is fit for the job. After that, he go through the process of group test, in which they see the ability, whether he is capable of working in a team, and thereby he go for psychological test, in which they see the mental well-being and as well awareness, as well as he have a solo performance round in which he'll be elected by the employers. A certain number of questions will be asked to him and check whether he is capable for the jobs. And most of many companies follow these kind of steps. And in some other companies, different set of things will be asked, like about their physical health and all these mental psychological things comes. And when it comes for employment, the major thing most of the employee lacks is like in their skills as well as in their performance. Moreover, if they gain more and more skills, it will be useful for their selection process, as well as the best. Let me conclude by saying human resource management is the lifeline of business. Because the certain number of these guys are the persons who select the perfect people for the right job at the right time.